Sophia has always been infatuated. But the day unattachable love got cancer, she handed me pills that cause amnesia. Timothy, Kevin is going to die soon. You give me 3 days. He'll fulfill his dream of a wedding. I won't upset you. This pill can make people lose their memory for a short period of time. When my wedding with him is over in 3 days, you will fall in love with me again if you take the antidote. At that time, we will remarry again. Looking at her imperative look, I took the pills and swallowed them without hesitation. What Sophia doesn't know is that the memory-erasing drug was developed by me, and there is no antidote at all. 3 days from now, they'll have completely forgotten about her. 1 After completing the divorce formalities and coming out of the divorce registry office, Sophia raised her hand and checked the time. There are still 2 minutes before the drug kicks in. You will forget all the memories of loving me in these 3 days. And when you take the antidote, you won't remember anything that happened in the past few days. And you won't have any chance to grieve. Our current divorce is only temporary. We'll remarry when it's over. Don't worry, my real husband. You're the only one. I looked at her in silence. I'm afraid there is no chance of remarriage. As the developer of the drug, I know the effects of this pill by heart. It doesn't make people lose their memory instantly, but little by little, it makes the memory disappear, and finally forgets their lover completely. An antidote has not been developed yet. But Sophia obviously didn't know about it. I asked her softly, "Are you sure you won't regret it?" She smiled and rubbed my cheek favorably. Kevin has loved me for years, and his only wish was to have a wedding with me, and I couldn't say no, and since I'm going to do it, I won't regret it. Timothy, I know you've always been thoughtful and gentle, and there's no need for you to fight with a sick man. When it's all over, we'll just move on with our happily ever after. I tugged at the corners of my mouth in self-deprecation, letting the raging acidity in my chest spread throughout my body, and didn't say another word. The year when we were most in love. I grabbed the program for her and drank to gastric hemorrhage, and she stayed up all night to arrhythmia in order to get the research results back for me. Later I teased her, "If one day I am old, do not remember her how to do." In that instant she reddened her eyes and kissed me forcefully on the lips. Timothy, I love you. Please don't forget me. I'll go crazy. Now that she has learned that unattainable love has cancer, she has gone so far as to offer to divorce me and ask me to take medication to forget everything with her. My guess is that she wants to give him 3 days of love, unblemished. Without the presence of my superfluous husband, alone and complete love for her. If she dared to change her heart openly and honestly by feeding me drugs, why would she remarry me more than necessary? I laughed out loud, smiling to myself and arched. At this time, my head suddenly burst of pain. My body swayed, the whole person straight forward to fall. Sophia, quick eyes and hands to support me. Bright eyes are endless worry. Is it somewhere uncomfortable? If you're really scared and afraid that I won't turn around, I can give you the divorce certificate and related documents for safekeeping. I braced myself and stood up straight, looking at Sophia with slight confusion. What divorce papers? Sophia froze, then tried. Timothy, you're divorced. Remember, divorced. Seeing my blank face, her eyes flashed with an imperceptible hint of joy. I hung my head, saw the divorce papers clenched in my hand, and it was instantly clear. It was the drug that started to take effect. The first thing was to erase the memory of when I divorced her. Sophia quickly took away the divorce certificate in my hand, afraid that I would see that the person on the divorce certificate was her. Softened her voice and said, Timothy, I'm your sister. You got sick and lost some of your memories. I'll hold on to these important papers for you. I raised my eyes to Sophia's evasive eyes and didn't open my mouth to poke her. It doesn't matter. Since she wants to act, then I'll accompany her. At this moment, a low voice suddenly rang out. Qingyu. You were here. I followed the voice and saw Kevin jogging all the way towards us. But his feet accidentally tripped over a rock and stumbled. Sophia subconsciously shook me off and reached out to support him. I was thrown away by her. My body was caught off guard and hit the wall. My head, which was already pinched, was hit with a sharp pain. Kevin firmly grabbed Sophia's hand and smoothly wrapped his arm around her waist, smiling heartily. Qingyu, thank you for catching me. Sophia reacted and immediately changed her face, shaking off his hand before hastily looking at me. Timothy, did you get hurt just now? Kevin is sick, and if he falls and bleeds, he might not be able to stop the bleeding, so I helped him first. Sorry. I had stood up well enough to hold back the pain, patting the dust off my body. It's fine. Kevin came up again, grabbed Sophia's arm tightly and spoke in a small voice. Qingyu, it's just a divorce. Why are you so slow? Just now I waited for you for a long time. Seeing me staring straight at them, Sophia coughed stiffly and looked at me sheepishly, but didn't push his hand away again. It's over, so we can get busy with the wedding in peace. Kevin was instantly delighted, glancing at me smugly. Yeah, Timothy, I've been in love with your sister for 5 years. We're getting married soon. The wedding is scheduled for 3 days from now. You must come then. I smiled. My sister's wedding. Then I will definitely come. The smile at the corner of Kevin's mouth became even more intense. Then when the time comes, you be our followers. Make sure to record the moment when Qingyu and I kiss at the wedding. Kevin. Sophia suddenly grimaced, signaling him not to say more. She looked at me fixedly, not finding half a bit of sadness in my eyes. Her heart inexplicably bad. He doesn't have to attend our wedding. I look unchanged. Seeing Sophia speaking towards me, Kevin frowned once and suddenly weakly buried his head at her neck. Qingyu, my heart suddenly hurts. I'm going to lose my breath. Sophia's eyes instantly tensed and she hugged him. Is it another attack of the disease? Just hold on a little longer. They'll get you to the hospital right away. She lifted her eyes to mine and whispered inquiringly. Timothy, do you remember where home is now? Do you need me to send someone to take you? I shook my head. No, I remember, Sophia murmured. The staff had told her earlier that the effects of the drug would only make you forget your favorite person and would not damage any other memories. Sophia's brow instantly loosened at the thought of my favorite person being her. Okay, then you can go home first. They'll take Kevin back to the hospital first. Saying that, she assisted Kevin into the car. Kevin always held her shoulders and spoke breathlessly. Qingyu, to be held by you openly and honestly in this life, even if I were to die right now, it would be worth it for me, Sophia chided in a low voice. Don't talk such nonsense. Through the car window, I saw that when she fastened Kevin's seatbelt. Kevin suddenly wrapped his arms around her neck and dropped a soft kiss on her earlobe. Seeing the incredibly ambiguous scene in front of me sent a chill and sharp sting through my heart. It was the sting of betrayal. The shadow of her car sailed away, and at the same time, a phone call dialed in. Mr. Yi Timothy, Paris Institute of Science is ready for your docking ceremony and welcomes you in 3 days. I hung up the phone and went home, only to realize with a start that the house was empty. Just a simple empty shell. This home was the house that Sophia and I had renovated together in the beginning. And at that time she said that she wanted to live in this cozy little home with me for the rest of her life. But now, the tea set that Sophia and I designed together, the ornaments we picked out together, and all the things that mattered to her have all been moved out of the house. Probably because I was afraid that I would recall my past with her. Even the flowers I raised with her on the balcony were turned over with soil. Seeing the empty house, I smiled to myself and hooked the corner of my mouth. Sophia, you prepared so well, in the end. Are you afraid that I remember those things will be painful? Or worried that if I remember everything, I will go crazy and destroy your and Kevin's wedding? If you know that without antidote, I won't regain my memory again, will you regret it? I took off my wedding ring, wrote her a letter, and finally put it in an envelope together with our wedding rings and put it in the empty space of the flower pot. At that moment, a phone call came in hurriedly. Brother Ryan hesitated for a long time before speaking. Yeah, Timothy, I have something to tell you. Sophia seems to have cheated on me. I was just in front of the hospital and saw her cuddling with a man. I hummed. It's okay. Let her be. Ryan was surprised by my attitude. Timothy, are you okay? I was instantly amused at the sound of his nervous voice. What could I possibly be okay with? Sophia and I are divorced. Divorced. I briefly elaborated on what happened and heard an expletive erupt from across the room when I took the pill. Son of a bitch. So shameless. She really thought of anything to marry that guy. When you gave up the opportunity to go to graduate school to accompany her wholeheartedly. Half of the achievements she got today came from you, but now she wants to condescend to you for another man. And also said beautifully that she won't let you suffer. Feeding you amnesia pills. What gives her the right to do that? Where did she get the face? A color of pain finally rose in my eyes and I blanched. 5 years ago, when Sophia was at her worst, I didn't hesitate to marry her. I used all my connections to help bring her company back from the dead. At that time, she hugged me every night and whispered in my ear that I was her eternal love. Unfortunately, everything gradually changed. The person her heart hung on to had someone else. She gradually forgot all that I had given, asking me to be good and forgiving, and again asking me to forgive her for her compassionate kindness to Kevin. Is it hard to love someone as you always have? Why, I can do it. My brother crackled a flurry of output on the other end of the phone and finally got tired of cursing before slowing down to draw conclusions. I'm sure Sophia will regret divorcing you and feeding you memorizing drugs. Heh. She mustn't know that you didn't develop antidote. So let her die of pain and you, just in time, can let it go. My eyes went to the flower pot gap where I had just put the letter. After years of spending time with Sophia, I already knew her habits like the back of my hand. Sophia would drink mulled wine by the balcony when she was bored out of her mind. If she really regretted it on the day I left, she could have seen this letter. Toward the latter part of the night, Sophia entered the house and rummaged through the room. What are you doing? Sophia's hands lurched and she turned around to see me in my pajamas, standing in the doorway of my room. She frowned and draped her scarf around my neck. Why are you wearing such thin clothes when it's so cold in the middle of the night? I didn't pick up on her words, but continued to ask her, are you looking for something? Well, I wanted to borrow your tailored suit that Kevin wanted to wear for the wedding. Sophia explained, in case you forgot again. It's the same one you wore when you got married. I looked at her in silence. Of course I hadn't forgotten. After all, she had designed that tailored suit for me. From designing the drawings to making the finished product, it took 2 whole months, and if measured in value, it was at least $5 million. All she did was because I casually said, I want to have a unique tailored suit. But now, she wants to take away the tailored suit she designed for me and go to consummate another man's wedding. I suddenly felt a little ridiculous, and deliberately asked her again. Is this tailored suit important? Why does it have to be this one? Probably because my words evoked Sophia's memories. Her hand movement a beat. Tailored suit design out of the day. She once told me, this tailored suit, forever only belong to you. I watched her. She only hesitated for a moment, then immediately spoke. Because it was designed by a master. There is only this one in the world. Kevin also likes it very much. His only wish is to wear this tailored suit to get married. Seeing my eyes lowered, she added, you can rest assured, when the wedding is over, I will immediately return it to you. At that time, what you want despite and I ask. Still this dripping lie. My heart was once again hit hard. On the day of my wedding with Sophia, her eyes were glued to mine from start to finish. After the wedding, Sophia carefully treasured the tailored suit and put it in the cupboard. I laughed and teased her. "Why do you treasure this tailored suit so much?" She looked at me seriously. "Because you gave this tailored suit a unique meaning. I want to keep this memory forever." But now, just because Kevin said he liked it too, Sophia didn't hesitate to give it to him. The tailored suit had lost its significance as a treasure and had become a tool to make Kevin happy. "It's late. Go to bed. I have to go out." Sophia didn't notice the difference in me and picked up the tailored suit and left. I dropped the scarf and draped it on the floor and looked down to the empty cupboard, filled with disappointment and sadness. "It doesn't matter. I'm with you. When she's done clearing out, everything will be fine. It's just abandonment. Once my memories are swept away, I'll be able to let go completely and utterly." As I was thinking about it, a sudden sharp pain shot through my brain, and a large chunk of my memory was vacant immediately afterward. I jerked out of my sadness. 3 The next day, Ryan told me that Sophia had been busy preparing for her wedding to Kevin, and that it had been a battle similar to the one Shed had when Shed married me. I nodded thoughtfully. Sophia was so busy that she even sent someone to bring me 3 meals a day. It's hard for her to do that with such impartial treatment. On the day of the wedding, Ryan took me to the venue. The wedding hadn't started yet. We sat in the far corner and saw Sophia and Kevin not far away, holding hands intimately, surrounded by groomsmen in the center. I remember Sophia had such a big wedding with Timothy before. TSK. I didn't expect our Kevin to have this kind of luck to marry a beautiful woman. Hearing my name, Kevin's hand holding Sophia's tightened. Sophia opened her mouth to explain. Timothy and I are already divorced. Today is Kevin's wedding. There is no need to mention the past. Hearing Sophia take the initiative to set aside the relationship, groomsmen immediately let out a sigh. Kevin is young and handsome and multi-talented. How can Timothy be compared to him? Qingyu, the rest of Kevin's life is given to you. You can't fail him. Sophia smiled sweetly, as she had promised me at the beginning. Don't worry. I won't fail him and he won't fail me. I dimmed my eyes, and Ryan clenched his teeth in anger. What kind of broken 3 views ah? The third party on the throne has reason. Not far away, a man suddenly cajoled. Such a good day. Why don't Kevin and Sophia kiss one? Groomsmen coaxed one after another. One kiss. One kiss. Kevin stared straight at Sophia with just the right amount of affection, and Sophia raised her hand to stroke his chin, then stood on her tiptoes and dropped a soft kiss on his lips. The cheering was at its peak. Such a lively scene, but I just feel that all the music is silent. I couldn't keep my heart, and now, I couldn't keep my body either. I mockingly hooked up the corner of my lips. Fortunately, the memory of the extraction of enough. I am no longer so painful. At that moment, my cell phone screen suddenly rang, a boarding reminder from my airline ticket. Ryan, I should go. Ryan gave me a hug, his eyes red. Go on. Leave the filth behind and go shine. I'm waiting for you to achieve success and fame. To the next level. As for here, I'll deliver the big gift for you. Go. I smiled and patted him on the shoulder, not caring what gift he was going to give. After all, half an hour away, the memories of loving Sophia were going to be all gone. As I dragged my suitcase away, Sophia held hands with Kevin and unintentionally glanced as if she saw me and panicked. But come to think of it, it couldn't be. Even if I appeared at the wedding, I was still attending as my brother. It was impossible for me not to be photographed, let alone dragging a suitcase. It should be that she was looking at it wrong. The lights in the arena dimmed and Sophia and Kevin stood at the very center of the stage, looking at each other sweetly after exchanging rings. The crowd cheered and coaxed a kiss. Suddenly, a banner was flung across the sky, and Ryan stood under it, holding it up with a hooked smile. Wish the third party Kevin and the scum Sophia a long life. Infertile. 8 sons in one birth. Kevin instantly blanched and looked at Sophia helplessly. Seeing that it was Ryan's face, Sophia instantly became a bit annoyed. What are you talking about? Timothy and I are already divorced, and Kevin is not a third party. Ryan coldly laughed. And when and stand up to say is you cannot let go of the ex-husband and want to give someone else's wedding, but also mouth let Timothy wait for you to remarry. Do you know how much pain he has these 3 days? Sophia's eyes cooled down. Don't bother you to worry. I gave Timothy a medicine. It's impossible for him to remember these things. Stupid. This medicine won't cause immediate memory loss after taking it. It's only on the 3rd day that you'll forget all about your loved ones. Timothy has seen what you've done in the past 3 days. Ryan flicked his chin and sneered at her. You don't know who the lead researcher is, do you? It's Timothy, your ex-husband. To tell you one more thing. Memorizing drug doesn't have antidote at all. Timothy has completely forgotten about you, and will never remarry you. So you can live your life peacefully with your wild man, and have a good time. For Sophia's face swished white, looked horrified and took a big step in front of Ryan. Frowning and pretending to be calm. What you said. Is it true or not? True or false? Ryan sneered. I've had my fill of panic and am here to tell you lies. You're so full of yourself. No wonder Timothy left you. You know what? He said he hated his weakness. Hated that he loved you too much. That's why he was always hesitant to let go of you. Thank you for giving him the opportunity to take that drug so that he could be freed. His words completely shattered the last line of defense in Sophia's heart. Her voice trembled slightly. Where is he now? Ryan's eyes were full of sarcasm and he raised his chin provocatively. Didn't you claim that you love him so much? Since you love him so much, then go find him yourself. Sophia clenched her palms tightly and threw down the bridal bouquet as she turned around and walked towards the field. Qingyu, don't you go. Our wedding isn't over yet. Kevin stepped on his leather shoes and ran towards Sophia, reaching out to pull her back. However, the hem of her skirt slid along her fingertips, leaving him with only a hurried back. When Sophia rushed home and pushed open the door to my room, she realized with a jolt that the room was empty and all my clothes had been taken. Timothy, she called out several times, but no one responded. The sheets were neatly folded and the tabletop was spotless. I have a habit of cleaning my room when I pack. And now my room, clean without traces of life, as if this place has never been lived in the same. Her palm slid feebly down the door of the room. According to the original plan, just wait until after the wedding. She would feed me antidote and everything would be back to the way it was. Kevin got the wedding of his dreams. And I wouldn't have to suffer for it. But why? Why did everything turn out like this? Sophia clenched her fists and slammed them against the wall, then dialed her assistant. Find out where Timothy went right now. Quickly. After getting a response from the other party, Sophia hung up the phone and poured a glass of wine to drink in annoyance. Walking out to the balcony and looking out the window, her emotions calmed down a few moments. Sophia lifted her glass and poured the remaining fifth of the drink into the dirt. When her afterglow glimpsed a small letter tucked into the crack of a flower pot, she lifted her hand and pulled out the letterhead, her fingertips lurching as she saw the familiar handwriting on it. Written on the letterhead was the love I've felt for her for 5 years that I couldn't let go of. The drug isn't making me lose my memory all of a sudden. It will only make me gradually forget you. For the past 3 days, you've been full of kindness to Kevin, cheating on me for him, and I've seen it all. I know you still love me, but your heart, it can't beat for 2 people at the same time, Sophia. I want loyalty from the start. Thank you for taking the drug for me and cutting off my indecisiveness. This time, I choose to leave. Sophia stared blankly. Suddenly, she recalled an argument with me long ago, the first time she'd seen me look so out of sorts. Simply because I had accidentally missed my anniversary by accompanying Kevin for an infusion and I had gotten mad about it. She didn't understand. Didn't understand why I was being catty with a patient. Yet now my words have sent a shiver down her spine. She had always thought that her feelings for Kevin were only compassionate and tolerant at best, and could not even talk about such a heavy word as love. But now, even she has to admit that her emotions do change because of Kevin, and that's why she didn't hesitate to agree to organize a wedding for him when she saw his red and swollen eyes. When exactly did she start caring about Kevin, and when did I start being disappointed in her? Sophia's heart was as messy as a ball of hair. And the letter paper was crumpled and crumpled by her pinch. Her fingertips whitened as she murmured, "Timothy, I was wrong." On the other hand, I sat on the airplane and glanced at the time. Only 2 minutes to go and I was going to forget about Sophia completely. I figured by this point, she would have seen the letter. Would she regret the decision she made? I hung my head and laughed softly. It's just that, whether she regrets it or not, it's none of my business. From now on, she and I go our separate ways. Finger delete her last contact information. I violently clenched my chest. The last piece of memory about her completely broken. When I raised my head again, the stewardess brought me a cup of hot water, and asked gently, "Sir, are you all right? I saw that you were not feeling well and prepared a cup of hot water for you." I shook my head and smiled. "I'm fine. Thank you." 6 On the third day after arriving at Paris Institute of Science, I settled down completely. The dean found me and shook my hand with emotion. "I really didn't expect to see Mr. You return to the Institute in my lifetime. It seems that the memory-erasing drug pill project that we had previously sealed off can be restarted again." When the memory-erasing drug pill research was halfway through and was about to develop the antidote, the project was moved abroad. At that time, I chose to withdraw from the project for Sophia's sake, and stayed in China to accompany Sophia. But what I didn't realize was that because of my departure, the development of antidote had been halted since then, and was finally forced to be interrupted. Now that I am back, it means that the project that has been sealed for a long time can finally see the light of day again. I shook the dean's hand back and assured, "Don't worry, Dean. This time I will devote myself to the research and development." The dean's eyes were full of relief, and when she left, a familiar voice rang out behind me. "Timothy." Ryan appeared behind me at an unknown time and grabbed me by the back of the neck. "I'm your assistant for this development. Surprise. Surprise, surprise." I gasped as he strangled me, my hand scrambling to push him away. Ryan smiled and let go of me, then spoke tentatively. "How much of what's happened in the last few years do you remember?" The tops of my eyebrows twisted lightly. Ever since I took that pill, my memory has been pretty blank for the past few years. It always feels like I'm forgetting something important. The tops of his eyebrows loosened. "It's not something important and significant, so you don't have to think about it much. If antidote is developed, will you take it?" Seeing his slightly nervous eyes, I asked him back, "Do you want me to take it?" He shook his head hastily. "Of course not. It's not like you're forgetting anything good, and if I could, I'd like you to never think about those things for the rest of your life." I nodded my head and smiled softly. "Okay, I'll do as you say then." That day, the RD got underway. I hadn't worked in a few years, but I hadn't lost any of my efficiency. I was busy until the end of the day, and after I finished my work, Ryan still had a large pile of information still unorganized. He looked up from the information and said tearfully, "Timothy, go ahead and wait for me in the cafeteria. I'll catch up with you later." I sighed helplessly. "All right, hurry up." Just stepping out of the institute's door, I was suddenly pulled by a hand on my arm. Turning back, a beautiful and delicate face came up. The man in front of me probably stayed up all night, with bruises under his eyes, pale lips, and the whole person looked exhausted. Her pair of eyes with red bloodshot eyes staring straight at me. I was startled, instinctively want to break free. The other party, however, refused to let go. I'd scat and pulled out a handful of money from my bag and shoved it into her hand. That's all the money I brought. Is that enough? She tensed her mouth. Then realized she was taken for a tramp by me. I don't want money. My good humor was pretty much worn out, and I said with some impatience, "So is there something you're pulling me for? Do we know each other?" She looked at me, suddenly so eager that her voice trembled a little. "Yes, we know each other and are close. I'm Sophia. I'm your wife." Sophia pulled out a photo from her pocket. On it was a wedding photo of me and her. As if to jog my memory, she spoke urgently. "Timothy, look. This is our wedding photo. We are husband and wife in name only. What happened in the beginning was all my fault. After you left, I couldn't sleep all night. I regretted letting you take that pill in the first place." Sophia spoke with affection, while I just blandly wrinkled my brow. "I'm sorry. I don't remember any of what you said." Her words snapped. Remembering what Ryan had told me, I added, "I don't know what happened before, but since it's in the past, let's forget about each other." Hearing my words, her eyes flashed with a trace of pain and unwillingness. "Those things can't be forgotten, Timothy. You made a promise to me. You said you would remember me for the rest of your life. Remember this tailored suit? I designed it for you myself back in the day and you said you loved it. And you said that you would design a sea of flowers for me, to be ordered in my name." She counted down the bits and pieces of the past, and memories rippled through my mind. Then a stabbing pain hit me, and I held my forehead as I fell backward. Sophia reached out to help me, and the next second, I fell into an embrace. Ryan held me up and opened his mouth at Sophia. "How can someone like you be so thick-skinned and have the nerve to come to him? Go live your life with that false, unattainable love of yours." After saying that, he slammed the information in his hand into Sophia's face. Sophia pinched the information tightly, and froze for a moment when she saw the words medical record report form on it. "This is Kevin's medical report card. He didn't tell you, did he? In fact, he was cured a long time ago. And all he's done now is to steal you from Timothy." Sophia's hand shook slightly as she squeezed the information. "He's lying to me." Ryan looked at her like she was a fool. "But if you'd used your brain to look into it, you could have easily found out. It's a shame you trusted him so much and had no defense against him that you couldn't even tell that lie. If you ask me, you and Kevin do make a good match. One prying, the other brainless. Get lost and don't ever mess with Timothy again." Ryan glanced at her in disgust and wrapped his arm around me and left without looking back. I turned around and saw her standing forlornly in the same spot. The moment she locked eyes with me, she opened her mouth to speak. "What are you looking at?" I withdraw my gaze and ask Ryan softly. "So she's my wife," Ryan corrected. "It's ex-wife. You don't have to remember. It's best to forget about her. She's not worth keeping around." I smiled and let out a Not asking any more questions. Point 7 The project progressed quickly. And in less than 3 months, the antidote was successfully developed. Ryan was full of excitement, hugging and jumping on me. "The samples have already been sent over. The dean and the girls will be here in a while. This drug can be used as a starting point for mental health treatment. Timothy, you're the next Nobel Prize winner." I looked tired, but I was still in a state of shock. I looked tired, but I couldn't hide the relief in my eyes. After 5 years, I had finally realized my dream. At that moment, the door was gently pushed open, but the person standing outside was not the dean, but Sophia, who barged in with a chilly air. and finally fixed her eyes on me. Timothy. Sophia took a few steps forward and handed me the antidote wrapped in her hand. Ryan burst into flames and tugged on her arm. Are you sick? What is this for? Sophia brushed aside her hand and said in a cold voice, I'm an investor in this project. Now, I have the right to ask him to eat the antidote. Then, her gaze went back to me unwillingly. Timothy, I was cajoled by Kevin before, and that's why I did what I did to fail you. Now that I've given him what he deserves, tailored suit, I will design another one for you. Will you give me another chance? I remember you like Aurora. After you take antidote to recover your memory, well, be the same as before. They'll take you to see Aurora and travel to all kinds of places. We'll be happy for the rest of our lives. This time, I will definitely not let go of your hand again. Her eyes were firm and pleading, while I just stared at her and asked softly, if in the beginning, there was no Kevin as you call him between us, is it true that we wouldn't have separated? Ryan wanted to open his mouth, but Sophia answered me without hesitation. Of course. The person I love will only be you. I let out a soft laugh at her words. You're still lying. She froze and I continued softly. Because you were unfaithful. Someone else would have broken into your heart even without Kevin. Because that's what you are. Unfaithful and hypocritical and greedy. Even though I lost part of my memory, I'm not stupid. Do you think your flowery words will make me forgive your infidelity? I straightened my back. I'm sorry, but I have the right to refuse your unreasonable demands. I refuse to take antidote. Sophia was poked hard by my words. She opened her mouth but was dumbfounded. Ryan stood looking at her with disgust in his eyes. That's almost enough, Sophia. Timothy made it very clear. Please don't disgust us again. Ryan waved his hand towards the door and several security guards quickly walked in and bowed gently to Sophia. Ms. Sue, please leave. Sophia takes a step and looks back at me 3 times, and I avoid her gaze as she drops her eyes and smiles softly and bitterly. You're right, Timothy. It's me who owes you. She turns around and leaves forlornly. After seeing Sophia off, Ryan was relieved. Timothy, it's good to see you sober. I'm really glad. Sophia's been so crazy this whole time. I've never found her so epileptic before. Ryan came up beside me and opened his mouth in a rambling manner. I learned from him that Kevin had asked her for a lot of money in the name of medical bills, and when Sophia found out the truth, she sued him in court, and Kevin was left with a huge loan and had to work to pay it back. And Sophia used her power, so no company dares to hire Kevin. It's really pushing people to death. Earlier Sophia was holding him on the tip of her heart. Now she just dropped him. If you ask me, this kind of woman is also emotionally volatile. It's good to throw her away before it's too late. She doesn't deserve you. I laughed at his words, and it was only then that Dean arrived late and took my hand in his. The samples we took for testing and the results were very good. The later generation is in good hands. Ryan asked me, what's the next step in the direction of your research put? Breaking through Alzheimer's disease. Since memory-erasing drugs and antidote can be developed, we're going to attack in this direction, and I think we'll be able to make a breakthrough as well. Ryan nodded his head quite approvingly. Not sticking to love affairs. Even the pattern is bigger. Good. Let's work together on research and development. After that, Sophia never appeared in front of me again during the days at the institute. Only the dean is always puzzled. Since I joined, the new investor funding is always given to send extra more. The original small laboratory has now doubled the size. We knew in our hearts it was Sophia who was secretly helping, but Ryan just smiled in disbelief. She should do it. After all, it's what she owes you. After determining the research direction, Ryan and I devoted ourselves to research and development, living up to expectations. I led the research direction, once again made a breakthrough, and even once won the highest honor award in the circle. Ryan and I were in the center of the crowd at the awards ceremony, and everyone came up to surround us, trying to get on the bandwagon. The people around us were boasting and complimenting one after another, and Ryan leaned over to me, sighing in a small voice, "It's worth it to be in your good graces in this life." I smiled without saying a word. Taking advantage of Ryan's heated conversation with others, I ducked to the side to get some air. Out of nowhere, I saw someone familiar through the gap in the crowd. Sophia was standing outside the crowd, her eyes looking at me with a deep gaze. The moment she met my eyes, she froze and gently raised her glass toward me. Her mouth said, "I wish you well." With that, she turned and disappeared into the crowd, never bothering me again. I frowned slightly when Ryan suddenly reached out and pulled me by the hand. "Where are you going? The awards will be on us soon. Come on." He held his head high and pulled me towards the lights. Everyone's eyes fell on us, the admiring ones, the admiring ones. Standing firmly on the stage at this moment, I will also achieve success and fame. I am no longer stuck in the past, but in their own field, once again shine. End of article.